Hello and welcome back to the donor-centric approach. This podcast is brought to you by MRP Donor Development, where we keep our donors at the center of everything we do, and by our friends and sponsors at Stellar Web Systems, the nonprofit tech solution. As always, I am your host, Orlando Barrows, and this episode is going to be slightly different. I was reflecting upon this episode a couple of hours ago because I normally always say, if you've been listening to the show for a while, I always say, as always, I am your host, Orlando Barrows. And a couple of weeks ago, something happened to me that may have prevented me from being your host ever again. So we have a special guest to help us unpack and talk all about this today. Our guest today is JJ Berg. JJ, welcome to the show.
Thank you for having me.
Absolutely. No, our listeners are going to find out soon. Thank you. So, for full context, exactly 2 weeks ago, I was riding my bicycle. I may have not shared with some of you this, but for fun, I'm a little crazy. I do endurance sports, so I do triathlons. And I was going for a 3.5 mile ride 2 weeks ago. And I left my house around 10 after 6. And about 20 minutes later, I got into a pretty hefty crash on my own. It was wet roads. It was a blind turn. That's pretty dangerous, that I've taken many times, but it got me this time. And I remember that I was about to fall. And then that's it. Then I remember being in an ambulance, and I really gained full consciousness as to what happened once I was in the ER. I remembered in the ER that somebody named JJ was with me throughout. I didn't remember what he looked like or what he was wearing. But he was the one that called 911, stayed with me until the paramedics came. And in a sense, because, and we'll tell you more about it, where I was, saved my life that day. I look pretty good after a couple of weeks, I'm not going to lie. But, and I'll post some pictures at the end of the episode. Or maybe I'll just do a cover right now with some of the pictures, but I had a lot of road rashes on my face all over. I was bleeding all over. I still have some, the new skin is growing under my arms and my legs, but I suffered 4 broken ribs, 4 non-displacement fractures on my ribs 4 through 7. I had a pretty nasty concussion, and I am going to post a recording of the 911 call. I was at the end of the episode, I got my hand on it, and you can tell that I was pretty loopy. And I also had ended up having a seizure at the hospital. So I was hospitalized for 3 days. And then, we came home, and I've been trying to sort of process what happened ever since. And JJ's with us. And you are with us listening to this as I'm literally live continuing to process what happened to me that day. So JJ, thank you so much for being here. I want to share a little bit as to why it's important for you to be here. As I just said, I am trying to process what just happened to me, but we live in a world where negativity and bad news is what drives people, or at least what sells in a way. And this is not the biggest or largest of audiences, but I did want to highlight that there are some good people in the world. For full context, how I found JJ was that I had a crazy idea. I went online and I posted on TikTok a video saying, if your name is JJ and you happen to be on Saturday, July 19th, driving and found some guy that was half dead in the middle of the road, I'm looking for you, sort of a thing. And that went semi-viral. And then somebody from Frederick, where I live in Maryland, told me to post in a private, large Facebook group for Frederick residents. And within like 10 minutes, somebody said, I know who you're talking about. He's dating my sister and he's with us in Florida right now on vacation. I'll connect you with him. And that's how we ended up connecting with one another instead of now leading to having dinner after this episode is recorded. So JJ, I've already said a whole lot in the last 5 minutes. Tell us a little bit about yourself. Yeah, introduce yourself in your own words. That's about it.
Yeah. So, my name is JJ. I am born and raised in Boonesboro, Maryland, a small town, really close to Frederick, actually. Um, Graduated from Boonesboro High School in 2024, um, and I just completed my first year at Purdue University, where I study nuclear engineering. So I happen to be back home for the summer, doing an internship where I'm a materials testing intern for a construction company, and that's what brought me to this point right now.
That um, is amazing. So, home for the summer. And tell us a little bit about what you do because it is very rare that a rising sophomore in college is driving in the middle of nowhere outside of Frederick at like you listen to the 111 call. It was made at 6:28 in the morning. What's a 19, 20-year-old doing at 6:28 on a Saturday morning?
Well, that Saturday morning, I happened to be working. Luckily, it was close by. The job was in Frederick, um, the other side of Frederick, but I had a report time. Normally, jobs are fairly early in the morning. It's what the coolest part of the day for the crews. So I I would go where the work is, go where my boss tells me to go, and boss happened to tell me to be at that place at that time.
Where was the plate?
I so I was actually on my way to our office, which is just about 3 minutes from here, uh, on International Boulevard, to grab all of my supplies from our shop and then head on over to the job.
That is crazy. Like, and so I was looking at and we'll I'm going to talk about like what you saw in a second, but I was looking at the obviously I've written this road many times, but I was looking at the Google Maps picture of it. Um, and because again I listened to the 911 call, I was trying to see the address as to where it was. And that road, if you're familiar with Frederick, Maryland, that road is called Elmer Durr. And Elmer Durr um, goes up a hill from Ballinger Creek and then starts going downhill not so deeply. And then there's a steep left turn, steep straight ahead, and a steep blind right turn. And if you are coming from the what I think that's the south, if you're coming from the south, so from Boonesboro, coming off of 15, heading north, you can only see you could have only seen me and have enough time to stop if I was near the top. So really close to the left where the left turn ends and goes into the straightaway. And looking at the address, I think that's where you found me. So what did you see as you were driving up?
Yeah, so I was coming off of 15, going on Elmer Durr. Just went around that first turn where you start heading up that really big hill to the sharp right turn. And I saw a man in the middle of the road. Uh, I was I was on the right hand side. He was in the opposite lane. I saw a bike farther on the farther left on the side of the road next to a street sign. So I stopped, put my four ways on, So you actually were in, you had slid most of the way towards the middle-ish of the incline, and your bike was a little bit behind you. So you had slid or rolled a little bit farther than your bike at that point.
Makes sense because my road rash is jacked. I was pretty jacked up. So I don't remember this. So this is news to me. Um, what? Why did you stop? And what made you stop? And I want to ask you this question because I have, like, I haven't seen something like this in my life, but I've seen accidents on the highway. I've seen like or people speeding pretty crazily, or and I call 911, but because I guess I haven't seen something so intense, and you'll see the pictures after this. Um, where I just call 911 and keep going, and they're like, "Hey, are you still at the scene?" And I'm like, "No, like I'm on the highway driving." But I've never actually stopped. So what made you stop is my question. Because you could have just kept going, and it would have been fine in a sense. 911 they would have tracked down where the call was, and somebody would have arrived. So what made you stop?
Um, I think just why wouldn't I stop? I mean, there's a guy in the middle of the road laying down. I didn't know his condition when I stopped, but there was there was really no reason for me not to stop. It was really early in the morning. He was in the middle of the road and coming down the hill from the opposite direction I was coming. He could have easily have been hit very, very easily. It was early in the morning. People are tired when they're driving, not paying attention, wet roads. You can't stop fast. Um, so there was a very high chance that he could have gotten hit if he wasn't moved. And, you know, there was really no reason that I wouldn't stop and help him. Duty to my fellow man. Um, yeah.
Personally, what was going through your head? Or was there anything going through your head? Or was it more like action mode? There's a dude in the middle of the road. I need to get out.
Yeah. Yeah. So I've obviously never been in this kind of
This is not an
situation
everyday thing
before.
for you?
Oh, definitely not, thankfully. Um, but growing up, I was a Boy Scout, Cub Scout, and then Boy Scout. And so I had some first aid training, some emergency preparedness training. So I I wouldn't say it was instinct or anything like that that I jumped into, or a high adrenaline mode, but um, going through my head, I think, was just, I want to help him and I want to make sure that he is okay because I have the ability to do something about it, to stop and help him get some help if he needs it. And it's a good thing I did stop.
My wife and our three daughters would agree with you. Yeah, again, I'm still trying to process this. I was so personally, I was once I came to, in a sense. Again, I was pretty loopy when you found me. I was pretty loopy in the ambulance because I remember some spots, and I like I cried in the ambulance. I was like, I have three kids, and I just like started weeping. Um, so I was like going in and out of like uh, a crazy mental state. But once I came to, um, I think I experienced shock because I was pretty lucid. So I was telling people at the hospital where I was feeling pain. Like I call my parents, and I remember calling my mom. My dad didn't pick up, so I called my mom, and I was pretty like matter of fact. Um, I didn't talk to dad because I knew she was gonna freak out. Later that afternoon, I was emailing, texting, and calling clients who I had meetings with that week. And again, everyone was pretty shocked because I was like so matter of fact, like, hey, I have four broken ribs, I had a concussion, and I had a seizure here at the hospital. So when I'm here for a couple of days, like once I sort of figured out what happened. Um, but then I came home and it kind of hit me a little bit, right? And it's been more than the physical toll, it's been very mental. But for you, what like what if anything, I mean, you didn't physically suffer, but what has this experience been like for you? Like, did you go into work and did you have to pretend that nothing happened? Or like were you able to reflect back on it later on? Like, as someone on the other side of things, what was it like for you afterwards?
Yeah, I think largely there wasn't a ton of reflection on my part until I actually found out your true condition many days later with your Facebook and the TikTok. Just because, I didn't know how bad it truly was. But thinking on it, it's it's interesting because my dad, he rides bikes quite a bit, and all of his college friends do. Some of them are very good bikers and bike many miles most days of the week. So, um, I the biggest takeaway for me is that if my dad or one of his friends were in the same kind of situation, I would hope that someone would do the same, stop for them, and get them the help that they need and potentially save their life.
Well, I'm gonna take that one step even further. Uh yeah, I mean, I think that's good reflection. What was it like that some or hearing or finding out that I was looking for you or that someone was looking for you? Like, what the heck?
Yeah, very much. What the heck? Yeah, I first, so when my girlfriend's sister told me, I was just waking up and she came in and she was like, JJ, you're Facebook famous. You're going viral on Facebook. I was like, what are you talking about? And then she explained it actually what was happening to me, and I was like, huh, that's interesting. Let me look into that more. Um, so I watched all of your videos and seeing all the comments of people and your responses to them and kind of gathering a larger picture of what actually happened. Because obviously I was just there for 20, maybe 30 minutes tops. So my depth of knowledge on the situation was only isolated to those 30 minutes and what I experienced there and what I learned there. But upon, um, all the comments in your videos, I was able to learn more about what happened after um, I was involved, and that it was interesting, and it brought a lot more reflection.
Yeah, your girlfriend's sister had I said, if this is him, send me like a DM. And she reached out and she said, and I haven't had the chance to ask you this, but she said, I've been thinking about you since I first heard. So you, I don't think, so because I'm not you, obviously. So you probably told your family or and friends like, dude, you won't believe what just happened when I was on my way to work, right? Um, but then you kind of left it at that, I'm assuming, right? And she had said, I think my sister told me what JJ had experienced, and I've been thinking about you ever since. I'm so glad to hear from you, right? Which is a crazy thing because I'm listening to the 911 call and I remember I heard myself apologizing to you. I was like, hey, sorry that you had like this had to happen. That's also like my MO because like the last thing that I want to do, and this is more personal, like be a burden on people. And then you said something that was, I think, is going to stay with me for a long time, if not forever. You said, don't worry, dude. Like, this is more important, right? Because I was making you late for work. Um, so upon hearing that, right, and seeing, oh, like this man really could have died, you know, have things been? slightly different, or have they been like, and again, like for context, you're 20 years old. So your brain hasn't fully developed yet. For us men, it takes like 25, 26 years old to really understand things. So I don't expect like a deep thing, but obviously being on the other side of things and being now with a family and children, it's mentally has affected me probably a lot more than I would have if I had been your age. But I wonder if there's any thought that has gone through your head since, and even finding and even coming here today or driving here to our home.
Yeah, I think, I mean, obviously, it makes me think about the preciousness of life and, priorities as well. Like you mentioned, some things are more important, and stopping to help someone on the way to work is certainly more important than being on time to work.
I hope your bosses were okay with it.
Oh, they were over. Oh, yeah.
Hope I didn't get
Yeah,
you in trouble.
and nope, not at all. Yeah, they were really good about it, and I mean, even if they weren't, I would do it again, because getting a slap on the wrist is so much better than uh, having someone get hurt more or not live through it. So that I would do it again 10 times over.
Like the one of the things that I've taken away is that, and I'm already have been leaning towards this for a while, especially now that I sort of not sort of I work for myself and we have our own company. The what ifs in life, I think that question, if you're going to ask it, this is, and again, I'm processing this. Um, if you're going to ask it, it's not worth, in my opinion, not having an answer to that. So what I'm saying by this is, so like, which is I think why I reached out to you. One of the things that I'm processing is, anything that you ever want to do, because to your point, you don't know when life could end. It could end at any moment. I want to encourage anyone even listening to this, even myself as I listen to this recording again, to just do it. So I was having this conversation with my wife earlier today. I was like, there's this person that I know that sits on the board of one of our clients. And because I work with ministries and nonprofits, as if you're a listener, you would know this, um, that would potentially, make solid introductions to a lot of ministries. He's in that kind of a position. And I remember saying to her, and I was like, but like, I don't want to muddy the waters and I feel awkward. And then I said, but if I don't, or if I do and they say no, they're the exact same spot that there would be right now, which is something I talk to my clients about all the time. But if I do reach out and they say yes, it would have never happened if I never took that risk, right? So I guess it's a long way of saying I've seen the world even slightly different since the event. Has that been a similar case for you? I know that you happened to go on vacation right afterwards. So it was like, probably if there was a time for you to go through a traumatic experience or help somebody through a traumatic experience, going on vacation the day or 2 days afterwards was probably the best thing ever. Like, God knew what he was doing throughout the entire thing. Uh, so like for you, has this shaped, has this at all shaped the way in which you view the world or life or people in your life?
So I think in a drastic way, or maybe not a drastic way, but just simply going through life and being cognizant of what's around you so that if something does come up, I am able to be spontaneous. One of the things, a sermon that I heard a little while ago, I don't remember exactly what church or what preacher it was, but the sermon was about allowing yourself to be interruptible and opening yourself up to be interruptible by people, by opportunities, by the Lord, and just, being open to new ideas, new people, new experiences on a wider level, but on a more intimate level, be open to letting the Lord come inside you and work through you and take you out of your current path onto a new path to help other people and spread the word.
No, that's really good. And I agree there, because for me, it has been a similar thing in a way of, yes, interruptible, but of the right thing. So, for example, like I've been able to focus now, and the Lord has been working in my life towards this, and He uses personal things to like speak even deeper, right? So one of the things that He's been speaking to me about is about surrendering, really all of my life to Him, dude. If you almost die, do you know what I'm saying? Like I think He's being pretty clear, like I can take you out any moment, if you will. So like, why don't you surrender if I've been trying to do that? So like, to me, it's been even more on that, but also allowed to be interruptible, to your point, or to be interruptible by the things that matter in life, right? So to your point, um, I pray the Lord one day, if your girlfriend is the one, I'm not saying yes or no, that when you guys do get married or have children, that you see the beauty in that, because that's what there's three main things that the Lord has shown me clearly. One, or to focus on, like one is being the best husband I can be to the wife that He's given me, being the best father I can be to the daughters that He's given me. And He's given me a ministry to help ministries, and being the best help I can possibly be to those ministries that He's in a way entrusted to me, right? And that's been like, if anybody's going to interrupt me, what I've been reflecting on, let it be those three things. And let me always say yes to those three things. Always. Do you know what I'm saying? As opposed to when it's convenient for me or when I want it to be. Do you know what I'm saying? And I mentioned this to you when I was, when we first hooked up after, for context, by viral, I mean like 40,000 people on TikTok saw it. And out of 150,000 people in that Facebook group, it was like 51,000 people have seen it. So what's that? 80, 90,000 views. And I don't know if that's viral. I've never been viral. So maybe, it's more than a couple hundred views is what I'm saying. But when we connected, I said to you, our Lord is very clear when He talks about who your neighbor is. And when He talks about the Good Samaritan. So that's what I've been telling people. There was a Good Samaritan in my life. And right before this, we discussed we're both Christians, but we're not in the same tradition. We don't go to the same type of style of churches. But we are for sure united and following the same Christ and the same God. And in that, you chose on that day, like Jesus said, the Good Samaritan chose that person that was literally lying on the ground, on the side of the road, dying, to be their neighbor. And He said, and He took him to the inn and told the innkeeper, I got you. I'm good for this man. So take care of him. And if any extra charges, I will pay for him. Like, you didn't do that. But what you did do was you stayed with me. You called 911. You waited for the ambulance to come. You called my wife. You reached out to my neighbors, on my request, apparently, because I don't remember. But like, you cared for me in a moment that you didn't have to. So that for me shows what we were talking about right before the recording, that what unites us, it's a lot stronger than what divides us. So not to put you on the spot, because you're 20 years old and you're a college student, but what would you say to that? Or is there a reflection that comes out of that?
Yeah. I mean, so you were talking about how, we may be different in denomination or certain minor practices, but as a whole, I think both of us can agree that Jesus Christ is our Lord and Savior, died on the cross to save our sins. And for me personally, I think that is the biggest part of religion, and one of the gripes that I have about different denominations and um, the almost competition
Yes.
or inter fighting, whatever way you want to look at it. That's one of the biggest gripes that I have with it, because I believe that that pushes people away from Christ and away from church, when we all want to believe the same thing, and that should be what unites us. We shouldn't have those minuscule differences in practice or verbiage that tear us apart.
Preferences shouldn't be the reasons for divisions, right? Like, if I like spicy food and you don't, does not mean that we're not gonna break bread together. Do you know what I'm saying? Um, Not to minimize thousands of years of theological disagreements. That's not what I'm saying here. But I think it's a good analogy to say that what unites us is a lot greater than what divides, because we all part of the body of Christ. And Jesus Christ, and in John 17, he says, you know, he prays to the Father as being the same God in the Son, saying that I pray that they may all be one. So like you and I are one, right? So it is a deep desire for our Lord and Savior that we are united, because we all have different gifts, but we're all part of the same body. And that's what I've been reflecting on as well. Because like to your point, um, when people started hearing about this and this went semi-viral, and then I was like, I'm going to post an update on Facebook, because like people were reaching out. And I was like, if I just post something on Facebook and a bunch of people just know, somebody from high school that I hadn't seen in 20 years reached out to me and said, can I set up a meal train for you? And then to my surprise, so many people from the school that my girls go to the church that we go to the community that we're a part of, to our neighbors, just like were so kind and have like, poured of themselves so much for somebody or for a family that just was in a time of need and struggling through this. Now, compared to the needs that the world has, I'm not minimizing the fact that, yes, I could have died 2 weeks ago, but like to see people coming to action for something that in the grand scheme of things is minuscule, what has been so touching for me and says to me, the Lord has a plan for you, for your family, for your children, for your mission here in life, as I'm sure that He does for you. Not that you have to say anything about that, but it's something that I've been reflecting on, and I don't know if that resonates with you at all.
Yeah, no, you talked about how it may be minuscule for other people, but very large for you. You know, stopping for someone on the side of the road took 30 minutes of my time, if that, but it gave a family, their father and their husband, their son, their uncle, their nephew, it gave them that, and gave you a shot to keep ministering, keep providing for your family, keep being the father to your girls, keep being the husband to your wife. And while my actions might have been small, that had a large ripple effect to really give you new life.
That's what at the end of the day, what I want to thank you for. Because a small act of kindness, to your point, has had huge repercussions. Like, yeah, did I get in trouble with my wife when I got home and I was feeling better? Absolutely. As I should have. Do you know what I'm saying? Did I freak out my girls, like my oldest, who's 10, cried that evening because she was trying to process what just happened? My youngest, who's 3, because I was all jacked up, like didn't want to approach me. Like, yeah, like, but yeah, that's better than me not being here. And that is what I want to thank you for. Cause again, you didn't, I, because of what I do for work, I'm already in a mindset and attitude of gratitude. And I didn't mean to rhyme or use like a slogan, but, even more so now, again, life could end at any moment. And, You don't know whether stopping on the road for somebody, it was very clear for you at that moment. But even just like, I don't know, not throwing that garbage out your window or picking up somebody's mail that they dropped after they went to the mailbox. However small you think that might be, it could be in the grand scheme of things for that person, for that family, really everything. And I can tell you for sure for my wife and for my daughters, that was everything. So that simple choice that you made, from the bottom of my heart has meant so much. And I told you this when I first hooked up with you. I don't know where this is going, if this relationship ends right now or goes on forever. Who knows what the Lord has for us. But, I'm always going to remember you're going to be stuck with me for a while. So sorry about that. I may have to visit you at Purdue. Should I go that way? As I told you, my brother-in-law went to undergrad there. So there's already a connection there. But if you had a chance to tell the audience something as we come to a close, what would that be?
Yeah. I think it would be similar to, everything that you've been saying, do that thing. It may seem small to you, but it may mean the world to not just one person, but a whole nother community. And just be interruptible. That's one of the largest takeaways that I'll be taking away from this, and I will continue to implement into my life going forward. But just being open to new experiences, open to the Lord, and open to helping other people, because at the end of the day, as Christians, we're called to love our neighbor as ourselves, and I believe that is the greatest calling to all Christians.
And I mean, I could not have said it better than this. JJ, thank you for taking the time 2 weeks ago, for taking the time today, for just being here, for, being on a podcast. Who knows? Hopefully this touches somebody and their life changes. Even if it's one person, it was worth it. So thank you. Thank you for coming. Thank you for listening. I'm going to post the 911 call after this. I'm going to post some of the pictures so that you see the extent of the damage and why JJ had to stop, because I looked pretty jacked up. But on behalf of myself and my family, JJ, I can never thank you enough. Words are never going to describe what we have been through and what we feel. So I simply want to say thank you. I really appreciate you. I want to thank all of you for listening to this episode. I normally say keep your donors at the center of everything that we do, and you'll see results. But tonight or today, I'm going to leave you with allow yourself to be interruptible and do the thing that it is that you want to do. And who knows where the Lord will take you. Thank you for listening. You're the best. JJ, you're the best. God bless everybody. Take care.
Thank you.
1, 2, 3, 4.
July 19th, 2025, 6 hours, 28 minutes, 12 seconds.
Yeah, absolutely. What's
Frederick
your name?
County 911, what is the location of the emergency?
I'm on Elmer Durr Road off of 15. Yeah.
Is there a certain house number across street with that road?
There's a house right here. I can look at it for you.
Okay.
Here, one sec. I got to get him off the road. All right. Are you able to get off the road? Okay. I got you. Here, just roll over. Just roll over for me.
While you're doing that, what is the phone number that you're calling from? And what is your name?
JJ.
Okay.
I got you.
And just tell me exactly what happened.
So I was driving and I came across this man, and he was laying in the road with his bike here. Lay down, okay? and he crashed. He has blood on his face and skinned up arms and knees.
Okay. Did he get in an accident?
It looks like it, yeah.
Okay.
It's a wet road and a tight turn going down a hill.
Okay.
Very
Is
disoriented.
Is it a bicycle or is it a motorcycle?
Bicycle.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm on 911. Thank you, guys.
Okay. Just bear with me while I put this information in.
Yep.
Did you find that location? I did.
Yeah, I'm walking up to it now.
Okay. It looks like what I have, the closest road.
Yep.
If you
That's
can.
right.
That's okay. And are you with the patient now?
I am, yeah.
And how old is he, or how old does he look?
Middle-aged. He said he has a wife and 4 kids.
Like 50 as middle-aged?
Yeah, 40s or 50s.
50.
Sir, how old are you? 38.
And is he awake?
Yeah, he's awake.
Is he breathing?
Yes.
And there was no vehicle. He just kind of slipped and fell.
Was there a vehicle? No, there wasn't. It's pretty wet, and he was coming down a tight turn down a hill.
When did this happen?
Do you know how long you were laying in the road for? Maybe a couple seconds. The blood does look really fresh.
Okay. Is there any serious bleeding?
Nothing crazy, no.
Okay. Is he responding normally to you?
Very slow.
And what part of the body was injured?
He has road rash on all over his arm, his knuckles, his underneath his nose, and above and below his left eye. And he's also complaining of chest pains. Where on your chest is it hurting? Right below your pec? Okay. Right below his left pec.
Okay.
My name's JJ. That's the second time he's asked that.
Did you say
Your
his
cell phone? Yes. What was that?
Oh, you said his chest was injured?
Yes. Left chest.
Okay.
Yeah, I got your phone for you. You're going to call your wife? Okay.
Is he having any difficulty breathing?
Are you having any difficulty breathing? No.
Okay, I am sending the paramedics to help you now. Stay in the line. I'll tell you exactly what to do next.
Awesome. Thank you.
Do not move him unless he's in danger, and do not
Yep.
split any injuries.
Yep. He is off the road now.
Okay. Is he on the right? So the house, it's like a long
He's on
driveway.
the house side. Yeah.
Okay. Reassure him that help is on the way.
Yep.
From now on, don't let him have anything to eat or drink. It might make him sick or cause further problems.
Here, just stay down, okay? Just keep laying down.
Like I said, just do not move him unless it's absolutely necessary. Just tell him he's still wait for help to arrive. I will stay on the line with you as long as I can. Just watch him very closely and look for any changes. And if he does become less awake or starts getting worse, tell me immediately, and then tell me when the paramedics are right with him, okay?
Yep, will do. I didn't know. I didn't see you fall. So where are you riding? How long have you ridden so far? Don't know. Do you remember where you started? Started at your house? Okay. Is your house here in Frederick? All right, well, didn't make it too far. Right now we're still on Elmer Durr Road.
Okay. Yeah, I can see your location.
Okay.
Is he still laying on the ground?
Yes, he is, ma'am.
Okay. So other than his chest, is there any other place that's injured?
What all hurts on you? Yep, road rash on his left arm.
Okay.
He's got blood underneath his nose and blood above and below his left eye.
Okay.
He's also got skinned up knuckles and a knee.
Okay.
Did you send me that? See her what? Did you see me fall? No, I didn't see you fall. No. I came around the corner and I saw you here. But the road's pretty wet, so probably just took a spill on that.
Do you live near where the crash was, or were you just driving by?
I was on my way to work, yeah.
Okay.
Hey, it's all good, man. This is more important. You ride bikes a lot? Somewhat. Have you ran in any races before?
Yeah, do triathlon.
Oh, wow. Good for you, man. Do you have a favorite part of the triathlon? Not the bike.
I was coming down, not going up, right?
Yeah. Yep, you were coming down.
Pretty whack.
Yeah, it is. Don't remember how you fell?
I got a pretty, my face hurts pretty much very chopped up my head.
Yeah. Well, your helmet definitely saved you there. It's a good thing you were wearing that. You
Was
can see
his
the helmet's pretty skinned up.
was his head injured at all?
Yes.
Did you see me fall?
I didn't see you fall, no. I think he has a concussion. Very forgetful short-term memory. Need to call your wife? If you want, I can call her.
Get my cell phone.
Yes, I brought your cell phone over to you. It's in your right hand. Yep.
Spelled in the crash.
Yep, I got it.
Sorry, 6 Spanish. The code is 6888.